One time I was literally on an island in Panama and I had a giant branch. We set these bands up in our chairs, looped around the chair like this. You can really set it up anywhere, anchor it to anything. There's no excuse to not get a workout in when you can carry your workout in your pocket. Bob Merkh out here at elitefts again, owner of Atlantic City Barbell. I'm gonna be filming some content using resistance bands, helping get workouts in anywhere. You know, travel in a pinch, you can always bring them with you. I find that using the bands to work out's really easy on my joints. It's a nice way to get some work in, not overloading work, but just a good way to get a workout in. You know, I can travel, you take them anywhere. So should be helpful for those of us who travel a lot and things like that. Could be a good tool to have in your tool bag. I've kind of gotten this reputation as someone who trains too much, you know, too much training. He's always working. And I like that because, like many of you, probably working out is part of how I relieve my stress, things like that. Plus I travel a lot. So one of the things that I've done to adapt to that is I've gotten really good at creating workouts with these bands. elitefts has the best bands, but you can get sort of training resistance bands all over the place. I'm actually teaching a class in my school to my students training with resistance bands. So I'm going to show you some of the exercises that we do, how we use them, how they might be able to be beneficial to you either in your main training or, you know, sometimes just if you have to get something in a pinch. So generally we'll use, you know, for some of our movements, we might be using micro minis, sometimes monster minis, and you can really get every workout that you can think of in using these bands. I might start something simple. I taught the kids how to do something like pull-aparts. You know, you can do these anywhere. Good way to tighten up that back. I use them in the morning as an exercise to sort of warm up. Very simple stuff. I've always had constant shoulder problems, so the W's here, nice little rehab workout. After I get the kids moving a little bit, doing some stuff like that, we might switch into some other things. I teach it in my classroom, so I'm just gonna sort of walk you through some of the workouts that we might do in a regular day. Monday, when we start with the kids, Monday's International Chest Day. We bring them through some simple band bench press movements. Band goes behind their back, under the armpits, sort of locks it in. You can do a straight press, incline. You can sit down to a decline. You can hit pretty much anything. Now, obviously training with bands, you're gonna have a higher volume, but easy on the joints. You can get plenty of work in. We might switch that as to a fly. One of the things I like about these band workouts is you can adjust the tension a number of different ways. Something as simple as taking more band to make the press harder, or something more. Add an extra band for more tension. So one of the things I do like is it is very versatile. So you got the bench press, you got the flies. We might move into a tricep push down. These bands can be set up a number of different ways. So I have hooks in my classroom that they go through, but generally I lose the loop through method. I got the band sitting there. You can hit tricep push downs real easily. Now everyone's done these before. This is nothing new, but it is a good way to use these bands. You can set these up anywhere. So you could even turn it into a skull crusher, things like that, pullovers. Every Thursday with the kids, I actually have them sit down and try and figure out like what exercises they're going to do for each body part. And they've actually invented some. We're gonna move on to some of that next. Another way that we use these bands, and this could be helpful for those of you, you know, you're gonna sit down, be lazy, you might as well be actively lazy. So you could be sitting around, we set these bands up in our chairs, looped around the chair like this. You can really set it up anywhere, anchor it to anything. In my classroom, the kids sit down and they'll do shoulder press movements. It's actually pretty effective. Again, you can control the tension. You want a little bit less, release the band some, be a warm up. You want a little bit more, take more tension. Same deal from this position. It's very easy to switch into a front raise, a rear delt, or side raises. You can even hit some more triceps with some overhead extensions. Honestly, nothing here is reinventing the wheel. However, it's amazing the amount of things that you can come up with. You know, rather than just sit and watch TV, those commercials come on. A lot of times I will walk myself right into some rows. Again, give yourself some more tension. And just as easily as you're rowing, a lot of people like to pair back with biceps. You could very simply switch your band. Now I'm doing curls. So if you're gonna sit there, watch TV, sit there, be on vacation, you don't wanna feel so guilty about those extra snacks you're eating, you can get your workout in right there in your hotel room. All right, so we're gonna move on to back, and I'm also gonna say, like, the other cool thing about working out with these bands is it gets you thinking, what am I gonna work out? So you're gonna try and hit back. You know, what do you have available to you? So I was able to set up 2 bands high here. We were able to find this roller. A lot of times when I'm on vacation, I might find like a broomstick. I might find, you know, a mop. It could be like a piece of PVC. One time I was literally on an island in Panama and I had a giant branch. So you can set it up. I could be sitting on the ground right now. I could be sitting in this chair. And just like that, next thing you know, I got a pretty decent lat pull down. This is obviously fairly light. I'm using 2 mini bands. I could just easily switch to using 4 mini bands. I could add some lights. You know, you can hit a bunch of different variations. Switch to underhand, bunch of different angles. Switch to face pull. When you're using bands this way, you really can hit a number of different variations, and it gets you thinking of specifically what I am and what I'm trying to hit. You can remove a bar, and now you've got total freedom. You can bring these bands anywhere you want to work out the back. If you only have 1 band, because sometimes I just have my 1 band that I keep in my car, no problem. Everything you did with 2, you can do with 1, just up the volume. Don't have anywhere to hang it high, you can just throw your band around something. Again, light tension. You could double it up for more, just take out more tension. I have used these bands and beat them up for years. Everyone who has these bands knows there's that set where 1 breaks and you might have an extra. For me, they all turn into training bands where next thing you know, it'll get another million pull-aparts done on it. So when you're using these things, you can bring them with you, roll them up. There's no excuse to not get a workout in when you can carry your workout in your pocket. Can't forget legs, the last thing. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I'm on vacation, traveling, or trying to get a quick workout in, generally that means the last thing I'm worried about is, you know, hitting big squats and things like that. But doesn't mean I can ignore them, especially for a lot of my students. This is gonna be the only leg exercise that we get. I have to get them trained right. Let them know the lower body and core is important too. So generally we'll start with a box squat. Now, sometimes it can be a little uncomfortable on their neck. All my kids like to wear hoodies. I don't think it's a problem. I keep my hands right here on the band. Again, pretty moderate tension. I'm gonna do a box squat. I'm gonna sit right back down, stand right back up. Form, you can do it in a number of different ways. Honestly, this is a great teaching tool to get someone to learn how to squat. So that way my kids all start coming forward like this, giving them a chair, lets them know to keep their chest up, sit back, release, and stand back up. We start most of our leg day workouts with these high rep, 25 to 50 reps of them just sitting down, standing up. They tell me it's easy until that 50th rep when they are all keeled over. A lot of times then we switch into good mornings. Same setup, except now I'm standing, leaning forward, building the hamstrings, standing back up. With these, as with anything else, real easy to adjust the tension. If it's too light, I can simply add another band or switch to an average band, light band, something a little bit bigger. If you really want to get creative, you could take your bands. Now, a lot of times I'll use the mini bands for this. Find something low. My students use their desk. And next thing you know, you've got yourself a pretty effective hamstring curl. So this takes away those excuses. Just because you're on vacation, just because you can't find a gym, just because you can't get the perfect workout in, doesn't mean you can't get some work done.